Cindy, it's me, Scar. I have some photos that I really want to show you. May I come over? Photos? What are the photos? From last week, silly, they are really hot. Don't you want to see them? I was shocked. My former best friend wanted to show me photos of her having sex with my husband last week. I thought she might feel guilty and wanted to provide me with evidence for divorce. Of course, she didn't just want to show off in front of me. I was too dizzy to speak, but of course, come on, will Breck be there? No, he's not. Great, there are some photos I don't want him to see, there are some things I don't want him to hear. I'll see you in a bit. When I had tidied up a bit, Scarlett came in. She asked for alcohol instead of coffee, even though it was a Saturday morning. The first thing I noticed was that she was tanned. Her dress revealed a lot of skin, but there was no sign of a tan line. Her photos were on a clipboard. She started with a selfie of her and another girl on a tropical beach. Who is that? I asked. That's my college girlfriend Krista. She's a travel agent now. She organized the whole trip, otherwise I couldn't afford it. 5 days at the 5-star hotel on a tropical beach, and the incredible bodies of men. Girl, I have something to tell you. I'm still high, you can probably tell, so you haven't been there, right? Since last week, has anyone else you know been there? No one besides Krista. Why do you ask? Just curious. Oh, I see, Cindy, I'm sorry, I can't invite you. Krista could only bring one person and have her company pay for it. I have to write a review about the accommodation, food, entertainment, etc. But what I really want to write about is the sex. It's amazing. They have a nude beach. I swear the smallest one I've seen is about 6 inches long and as thick as a Coke can. You'll see, I have some private photos, and some I can show in public. So you've been out of the country for a whole week, and I've already told you what happened when I left, right? Yes, someone told me that Bree and you had sex at the Holiday Inn in Louisville last week. I kicked Bree out last night. What, Cindy, how can you believe that? I flirted with him, but no more than with other men from the company. Why didn't you wait to check with me? God, you'd better flatter yourself. There are a lot of women who would grab him if you were available. Now, think about it. I'm offended. You think I could do that? I'm going home. She left quickly, in tears. My head was spinning. I was really framed by George. Damn him. I need to call Bree immediately and clarify this. Hello, the voice sounded both angry and frustrated. Bree, dear, I just want you to know that I have forgiven you, and I hope you come home. Forgive what? What did I do that needs your forgiveness? Well, I was a bit hasty about the accusations I made against you, and I think it would be great if we could start over. You have some nerve. First you accused me of having an affair without giving me a chance to argue. Second you kicked me out of my house, and then when you think I might call me bad names, you sent a text message to all our friends and family saying you have evidence of my cheating. I actually want to thank you, because before today, if someone asked me who I thought cared about me the most and would trust and support me no matter what, I would say my wife, my family, and some friends. After I received most of their messages and what you told me, I realized that now I hardly have anyone who really believes in me. I can't believe the vicious things they wrote to me, even though some of them said they had suspected me for a long time, except for my sister and a few friends who support me. Thanks to you, I have nowhere to go for the upcoming Thanksgiving and Christmas, because my own parents believe you instead of me. I don't even know any bars or restaurants, because I'm afraid of embarrassment because of former friends. I just sent a loud and clear email message to everyone you lied to me. I am no longer your friend, son, or in your case, husband. As for I don't even see this possibility. Once you receive my divorce petition, my dear, there is no need for a divorce. As I said, once you get the divorce papers from my lawyer, just sign them. When the divorce is finally finalized, we will start life equally. We will each have our own new life. I was already crying. Breck, I made a big mistake. Please let me make up for it. I love you very much. Your words are just words. Your actions prove that your so-called love is paper love. I don't know what evidence of cheating you made up for yourself, but they managed to destroy all your love in record time. You may have loved me, but you don't trust. Some things can be easily fixed when they are broken, but trust is not one of them. I don't know how I can trust you again, and you have no respect. If you respected me, you would have come to me and made accusations. So you have a bit of love, lack of trust, and lack of respect. I don't think this is a very solid foundation for a marriage. Please contact me only through my lawyer from now on. He hung up the phone. Why did I give up so quickly? That despicable George got me drunk and persuaded me to believe that he saw Breck and Scarlett kissing in a motel room. Considering all of Scarlett's flirting, I was easy to believe. That George damage control, that's what I need to think about now. I quickly drafted a counter to the original text message. I admitted that I was wrong to condemn Breck too quickly. I asked everyone to ignore what I posted. I promised to apologize to Breck. I foolishly hoped that it would help. What really helped was that everyone was angry at me for breaking their relationship with Bree. I'm now on their collective list. I tried calling Bree again, and he went to voicemail. I sent him a message, and it was unread. I sent him an email, and it was also unread. I kept trying until I received a message that the phone number and email address were no longer in service. I found out which motel he was staying at by calling the front desk of nearby motels. I made a call from his room, which consisted of his hello and my Breck don't hang up, and I was cut off. Subsequent calls were not answered. When I arrived at the motel, I found that he had checked out. I called him at work, and his secretary, who was very friendly with me, said as soon as I called, "What happened to Cindy?" He came in this morning like he was going to war, and he told me he wouldn't take any of your calls. Ashley, I made a big mistake, we had a fight, I made him leave, and now I'm trying to apologize, and he won't let me. I just need to talk to him. I can't believe that two people who love each other so much can't solve the problem. Tell you what, I will work with him and make him listen to you. I will reply to you. I finally had hope. I'm not just sitting and waiting. I can't. I'm too busy answering angry calls and messages from family and friends. The worst was his mother. "I can't believe we thought you were telling the truth when you said there was evidence of his cheating. We loved you like a daughter, and now we may have lost our only son. I hope you go to hell and have a special place there." I might risk my redemption by saying this, but that's how I feel. When the day ended, there was no call from Ashley. I called her back, and she whispered, "I tried to talk to him, and he bit my head off. He told me that if I mentioned my name again, he would fire me." I barely managed to prevent him from putting a reprimand in my personnel file. Please don't call again. A week later, I visited Scarlett. I was sitting at home when someone knocked on the door. I looked out and saw a familiar brown truck and a young man in a brown uniform. He had a package and a large notebook. "I have a package for Cindy Barnes. I am Cindy Barnes. I need you to sign for it, but the rules require me to see your documents to prove that you are who you say you are." "I'm sorry, but those are the rules." I took out my wallet and showed him my driver's license. After signing for the package, I heard the man say, "You have been served." He cheerfully walked to the truck, took off the magnetic UPS label, and laughed. I swear I heard him say, "I fool them every time. The situation is getting out of control." I had to do something else. I bought a full-page ad in the local newspaper where I admitted my false accusations and apologized as sincerely as possible. I begged for Bree's forgiveness. I sent flowers to his office. I bought a billboard begging him to forgive me for my sins. I wasn't sure what effect my efforts would have. Then I started receiving messages of sympathy and emails from former friends and many strangers. Apparently, I'm not the only one who has falsely accused my spouse and suffered the consequences. Suddenly, Bree called. "I stopped the ad campaign for Cindy. I think I won't rest until I sit down and talk with you. When can I come over?" It took me a moment to come to my senses and reply, "How about tomorrow at 6 o'clock? Would you like to have dinner together? Why don't I bring our favorite Thai food from the Smiling Elephant, pad thai, chicken and shrimp, just at level 3 spiciness, not the lava level spiciness you like. Hey, if your eyes don't water, your forehead doesn't sweat, and your nose doesn't run, it's not good pad thai food." He laughed. I couldn't believe he called, excitedly said he would come over. I should have been prepared. I might have a chance to save our marriage. It was the longest 24 hours of my life. I put on the dress I hoped was Bree's favorite. I prepared wine for dinner. Finally, he arrived at 6:02. The longest 2 minutes in history. My heart raced, and I jumped when the doorbell rang. I rushed to the door. It was Bree. I was about to blame him for deciding to ring the doorbell, but I wanted to stay positive. We complimented each other's appearance. Most importantly, he was smiling. He put the food on the table, and I poured the wine. We started eating, trying to talk while eating. I was surprised how hungry I was, but we both liked Thai food. Because of the heat of the food, we drank more wine than usual. More wine than usual helped to relax the atmosphere. I decided to be straightforward. Bree, I was wrong, very wrong. I guess I didn't believe that someone as wonderful as you would love someone as flawed as me. When you were on a business trip, I missed you very much. When they told me you were in the hotel room with Scarlett, I went crazy. I'm afraid excessive alcohol didn't help. I remember how jealous I became when I saw Scarlett flirting with you. I forgot that she flirts with everyone. She's my best friend. She wouldn't betray me. Most importantly, you wouldn't betray me. My biggest wish is for you to give me another chance to make up for my sins. Do we have a chance, Cindy? I don't want to think about the stress I endured in the first few weeks after you accused me of cheating. It took a while to calm down. You tried to make me forgive you and believe you were sorry, and it really worked. If you can prove to me that I can trust you, then the damn doorbell rang. It's really not the time. I will get rid of anyone who rings the doorbell. Don't move. I ran to the door, and as I started to open it, George rushed in. Did he hurt you? Let me talk to that jerk. I shouted, what are you doing here, George? Get out. My husband and I are having an important conversation. Get out now. I thought you had broken up with that cheater. What lies did he use to win your heart back? I am the one you want. You told me yourself. George, everything I said or did was when I was drunk. I beg you to leave before I call the police. Look, I know I lied about him and Scarlett's affair, but he has other girls. I'm sure. We had a special night between us. We can build a new life on that basis. Breck interjected, you are the one who told Cindy I had an affair. You are the jerk. What are you talking about, a special night? I shouted, don't say that. George, please don't. George did not follow instructions. He grinned and said our special night involved sex and intense sex. She didn't need to be persuaded for long to give herself to me. Loser Bree took a few steps towards George. George took a step towards Bree. George threw the first punch. His fist seemed to bounce off Bree's chin. Bree's punch broke George's nose and knocked him to the ground. Since George looked the most injured, I rushed to him. This made Bree even angrier. I stood up and wanted to say something to Bree, and he hit me. I fell down. I never thought my husband would hit me. It was completely out of character for me. I didn't cry. I helped George stand up. I stood in front of him and kicked his testicles as hard as I could. Then I went to get a towel and ice for his nose. I didn't notice that Bree had called the police and the ambulance, and we didn't speak until the police arrived. Bree told them what happened. I wanted to deny that Bree hit me, but I had a red mark on me that showed the truth. George said he wanted to press charges against both of us. Bree and I voluntarily got into the police car. George went to the emergency room by ambulance. We were charged, bailed, and sent home. We took different taxis, even though we were going to the same place. When we arrived at our home, Bree drove away. I was back where I started, trying to atone for another crime. I just couldn't give up, not without trying again. One day, it suddenly occurred to me to have a good idea. I showed up at Bree's workplace, where there were about 50 friends and family members, who also hoped to make up for their mistakes. Some held signs of apology or asking for forgiveness. I hoped the number of people would make a difference. Yes, can I help you? Ashley's greeting was cold but professional. Yes, we want to see Breck Barnes. To my horror, she replied that I'm sorry, he no longer works here. Maybe someone else can help you. Recovering from the shock, I replied that you can guide us to someone who knows where he is. I have no right to disclose such information. I will call Mr. Elliott. Mr. Elliott came out to see us, and he was not happy to see us. Is this the Traitor Brigade? You guys made me lose my best employee. He left to get away from you and start a new life in a new place. If you want us to help you find him, leave now, or I'll call security. We left. I turned to Ashley one last time, and she shrugged. I don't know. I called all the offices listed in Bree's company's annual report, and they all reported that there was no one named Bree Barnes working there. He either transferred to a competitor, was a contractor instead of an employee, or changed careers. He took half of our property and left the house to me, as stipulated in the divorce agreement. I signed, and a few months later, our divorce was finally finalized. I considered hiring a private detective to find him with some of the money. I waited, hoping I could come up with something to make him forgive me and believe he could trust me. I never came up with anything, except for my promise not to do what I had promised not to do before, which was not very convincing. I found it hard to stay in the house that Bree and I shared, but I couldn't bring myself to leave. I hoped you would find me if the wait wasn't too long. I received a letter from Scarlett, which said that since we had a fight at your house a few months ago, I haven't contacted you. I was really angry that you didn't believe in me, your best friend, and thought I might have been involved with your husband. Anyway, one day I received a letter from Bree. After he moved out, he apologized for involving you in an affair to hurt him. He said it was unfair to me, and that was really sweet. My heart melted. We started texting each other. He finally opened up to me. In the end, he invited me to visit his house. When we saw each other, we both knew we were meant to be together. Now I am Mrs. Scarlett Barnes, and I couldn't be happier. I can't believe you didn't trust him. Well, please thank George for including you in his plan and tempting you. I would say there are no hard feelings, but that would be a lie. I will send a photo when I give birth to the child in 6 months. I am ready to move out of the house.